Hi guys, welcome to the first of a series of weekly videos where I test out SMART goals in regards to language learning. I've been doing a lot of reading recently to find a more efficient way of improving my level of French now that I'm intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced in some areas. I'm finding it really difficult to know what to learn next and how best to learn, because there are always 1,000 things I want to do, and I learn a little bit of that, pick up a new thing in a conversation but then forget it, and I want a new efficient way of learning something and making it stick as quickly as possible. So I read into SMART goals, which, if you don't know what they are, SMART stands for specific, measurable, ambitious, realistic and time-bound. It basically gives you a way of choosing something in a niche that you set yourself, attach a number to it, so the amount of things you want to learn, make it ambitious in that you don't want it to be too easy for yourself, but also realistic, like whether or not you can fit it into your daily schedule, your weekly schedule, and time bound, so you add a deadline. So in this case, I'm going to choose 7 days for each goal that I set. And as I say, this is the first of weekly series, so I'm going to be learning about what works best for me along the way. But I wanted to share this to test myself, to inspire some of you guys out there to see if this method could work for you, and also to motivate myself to stick to the task every day and every week, because I said before on my blog that if you make your goals public, you have extra reason to go and stick to them. Right, so without further ado, this week's challenge was to learn 15 new verbs that I'd never seen before, to do with the body and movement. So I'm going to try and do this on one take and give you a translation to English, as well as a little example usage of each verb. But just before we start, I thought I'd give you guys the benefit of seeing the list, which I'm going to attempt to reel off in the next couple of minutes before I launch into it. Okay, so here we go. S'élancer, to launch oneself or to take off. You could use this to talk about something as simple as having a good start in a race, a sprint, for instance. You fly out the blocks. Je m'élance dans la course. I'm not sure if I should be using dans there or another preposition, but you see the idea. You could also use it for something more depressing, like jumping off a cliff. Or positive, I suppose, because people cliff jump all the time. Like je m'élance de la falaise, for example. Next we have s'échauffer. S'échauffer means to warm up, as in warm up before doing exercise. For example, je m'échauffe avant de faire la course. Number 3 is s'étirer. S'étirer means to stretch, in the same context as the previous verb. It means to stretch your muscles before you work out or before you do exercise. For example, je m'étire pour ne pas me blesser pendant la course. I'm stretching in order to not injure myself during the race. Okay, third we have trébucher. Trébucher means to trip over. J'ai trébuché sur une pierre. I tripped over a stone, and again, I'm not sure whether I should use sur there or not. But that's one example. Next is frotter. Frotter, which also has a pronominal and reflexive version of se frotter, which means to se frotter means to rub oneself, and frotter means to rub. So je me frotte les yeux, I'm rubbing my eyes, or je frotte la table, I'm rubbing the table. Had a little distraction there in the flat, so won't be able to do this in one take, unfortunately, but I have not looked at my little cheat sheet that I have next to me. Okay, so where was I? Frotter and se frotter. Yeah, so boiter, which means to limp, as in est-ce que tu vois que cet homme-là, il boite? Do you see that man over there, the one who's limping? Frapper dans ses mains. Frapper dans ses mains means to clap your hands. Yeah, it's pretty obvious how you could use that. Je frappe dans mes mains quand j'aime un spectacle. I clap my hands when I like a performance. What's next? Hocher la tête, which in my studies I found can mean nodding your head and shaking your head, which is very confusing. But I have it on good authority that most of the time it's used for nodding. And you would just specify the sort of the mood if you wanted to say, if you wanted to be explicit that they were shaking or nodding. What else? Faire craquer ses doigts. Faire craquer ses doigts is to click one's fingers, or to click your or your toes, or doigts being fingers or toes, just digits. Je fais craquer mes doigts parce que c'est un rituel. Je le fais depuis longtemps. I've been clicking my fingers for a long time. It's just a ritual. What else do we have? So we've got se gratter, which is to scratch oneself. You have an insect bite, you might say, ah, ça pique, je me gratte. Or itches, I'm scratching. We have se pencher, or even se baisser. Both mean to lean down, to bend down. Je me penche pour récupérer ce stylo. I'm leaning down to pick up this pen. What else? I've had trébucher, boiter. Oh, renifler. Renifler, this is one of my favourites on the list. It means to sniff. Sniff. So you might say to someone, pourquoi tu renifles? Est-ce que tu as un rhume? Why are you sniffing? Have you got a cold? I like that one. It's just it's very similar to the verb ronfler, which is to snore. So it's easier to remember for me anyway. Okay. And then we've got mordre, which means to bite. Mordre means to bite, and also again you have the reflexive version, which is se mordre, which means to bite oneself. So you could use it like ah, je me suis mordu la langue. I bit my tongue. Ça fait mal. It hurts. Or le chien mord le chat. The dog bites the cat, or the dog is biting the cat. What else? Oh yeah, cueillir, which is a little bit like accueillir, which means to welcome, but cueillir means to pick or to pluck. And apparently you can't use this to talk about plucking your eyebrows. It's more to pick fruit or to pick flowers. So, je cueillis les citrons dans l'été. I pick the lemons in summertime. Or quand j'étais jeune, je cueillais les citrons. Or when I was younger, I would pick lemons. think that's it, isn't it? If I've got one wrong, you're probably laughing at me. I missed one. It is tapoter, which is one of the easier ones to remember. Tapoter means to pat. And I like that one because tapoter begins with the word tap, and tap is just the reverse of pat. So it should be easy to remember, but in front of the camera, my mind's gone a little bit blank. But yeah, tapoter, like je tapote la table. I'm patting the table. Yeah, so 14 out of 15 in 2 takes is not that bad. But yeah, just a little bit about my method. This week I created a set of flashcards on Quizlet, quizlet.com. If you don't know that, and go take a look. I'll put a link in the description below to my set of flashcards for this week's challenge. Basically, it's the most basic level. It's flashcards. You can test yourself by flipping between the English and the French translations. And it also has sections on there to quiz yourself and fill the gap and shuffle them all together and mix and match the pairs of versions, English and French. So I was doing that each day. I was also making little sentences to practice and to ingrain it, to integrate it. And also I have an italki conversation lesson with a teacher twice a week, and in the last 10 minutes or so of this week's second class, she tested me on how I'd got on so far. So it's just things like that. Now the real challenge is to start using them in day-to-day life. So yeah, I think that 15 was a good number, but I think I could do more. It was a challenge, but the letter A in the SMART of SMART goals says that you should be ambitious. So I'm going to make it harder for myself next time I do a goal of a similar theme. But yeah, there you go. So there's there's a challenge from week 1. I hope you guys have at the very least learnt some new French verbs, but I really want to hear from you what you think about the idea of SMART goals. Have you tried them? What ways have you tried to learn new vocabulary, learn more grammar, or get things to stick? This isn't just for people of my level of French. It's for anyone at the start. When you're a beginner, you might need to focus on the exact vocabulary you're going to use on a day-to-day basis, just to learn as many words as possible to start you talking. And it can even be for super advanced who want to learn very specific native level expressions and idioms and all sorts of things like that. It's just to give you something focused and targeted. So anyway, please comment, please like, please share, please subscribe if you like the video. It would really encourage me to do more of these, just to know that at least a few of you are interested and have enjoyed watching me test myself. But thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Cheers, bye.